Welcome to this explainer. Okay, if you care for a child, you've absolutely been there. You know that sudden massive emotional outburst that just seems to come out of literally nowhere? It feels so random, right? Like one minute everything is totally fine, and the next, the entire world is ending because a cracker broke. But what if I told you it's actually not random at all? Think about a super busy bakery. The ticket machine is just spitting out endless orders, flour is flying everywhere, the phone is ringing off the hook, and the oven timer is screaming. When all of that pressure hits at exactly the same time, even a tiny little hiccup, like say dropping a spoon, can make the whole place feel like it's completely falling apart. Well, a child's inner world, it works exactly the same way. So today, in this explainer, we're going to build a wholesome understanding of the logic beneath the upset and really transform how we view a child's most chaotic moments.
So we got to start with the big question, right? Why do children suddenly explode? It's a super relatable question for anyone who's ever navigated a grocery store meltdown or, a sudden dramatic refusal to just put on shoes. We usually think these outbursts happen too fast, they're too loud, or they're just plain defiant. But honestly, they aren't. They are actually just the visible result of a nervous system that has been pushed way, way past its comfort zone. When too much is happening at once, maybe it's new sensory stuff, they're tired, or plans suddenly changed, their internal system just tips right over from, I can manage this, into, I am completely overwhelmed.
And here is the major paradigm shift. Emotion isn't the problem, it's the child's capacity to handle it that gets overloaded. Think about your cell phone battery for a second. All those invisible apps running in the background, your location tracking, Bluetooth, the constant ping of notifications, they're draining your power without you even realizing it. If your battery icon is hidden, you only find out it's empty when the phone completely dies right in the middle of a call. Well, a child's outburst, that's just the visible empty battery icon of a system that's actually been draining for a while before the big explosion. Real regulation starts way before the outburst, not after.
All right, here is our roadmap for this explainer. 1. The logic of big feelings. 2. Rethinking emotional regulation. 3. The 3 layers of calm. And 4. Growing the skill together. Let's just provide a little predictability for our own nervous systems, right? Just like we're going to learn to do for the kids.
Moving into section 1, the logic of big feelings. You see, once we start noticing these hidden patterns, that invisible draining battery, big feelings really stop looking like a mystery or just disobedience. Instead, they start looking like a crystal clear signal from a system under serious pressure. Think about carrying groceries from the car. Carrying one bag, totally fine. But trying to carry 5 bags all at once? That might be way too much to handle on your own. In a kid's day, waking up tired is one bag, a super loud room is another bag, a sudden change in their daily routine is a third bag, and being hungry is a fourth. Add just one more tiny minor frustration, and boom, everything hits the floor. Now, what if you had a grocery cart? A cart fundamentally changes what you can carry. We shouldn't actually be trying to erase a child's feelings, because those feelings carry really important information, like a boundary being crossed or an unmet need. Instead, our supportive language and our routines, they act like that grocery cart. We aren't removing the load, we're just helping them carry it so they don't get crushed by it.
Which brings us to section 2, rethinking emotional regulation. Because if the feeling itself isn't the crisis, but rather the ability to carry it is, well, we need to completely redefine what it actually means for a child to be regulated.
So here's the crucial part. Regulation is the ability to notice an emotion, carry it, and return to balance without becoming completely flooded. Now, notice what that doesn't say. It does not say being calm all the time. Not at all. Regulation is a return path. It's all about having that elasticity, that ability to bounce back after getting upset.
I love the surfing analogy for this. Think of it like this. The wave is the emotion. The board is the regulation. And the rider, that's the child. Nobody, no adult, no kid can stop the wave from coming. It's literally impossible. The ocean is going to do what the ocean is going to do, right? Our goal isn't to stop the wave. The goal is simply to give the child a really sturdy board so they can wobble, ride through the motion, and recover without tipping completely over. Contrasting the old and new views of behavior creates this massive, massive paradigm shift. The old view basically sees calm as a choice, like the child should just listen, stop crying, and use their words. But here's the thing. When we scold a dysregulated child, we are essentially demanding logic from a system that is terrified. To their biology, an adult's loud voice or stern face is just adding another threat to the environment, which ramps up the panic. The new view, which is actually backed by how our nervous systems work, sees calm as a state. When a kid is highly dysregulated, they're operating from a place of primal biological protection, not logic or reasoning. Their body absolutely has to feel safe first before their mind can even begin to follow your instructions.
Okay, section 3, the 3 layers of calm. So how does a child actually settle back into that safe state once the wave hits?
Well, imagine trying to sit down and read a book in a room where the floor is literally shaking. The words are right there on the page, sure, but your system absolutely cannot absorb them because your environment is physically unstable. Logic arrives incredibly late to the party when the body is in a state of alarm. You simply cannot talk a child out of a peak meltdown using complex sentences or long lectures if their internal floor is shaking. It is physiologically impossible.
And that is exactly why calming has to happen in a very specific order. First things first, you stabilize the body. The heart rate needs to slow down and those tense shoulders need to drop. Stabilizing the body might mean you, as the adult, taking a deep breath, keeping your voice low, and physically getting down to their eye level so you aren't towering over them. Second, you organize attention. This is when the child begins to look around and actually hear your voice instead of just, white noise. And only then, at step 3, do you restore meaning and use language to shape what just happened. If you try to jump straight to step 3 while their little body is completely flooded, it's like trying to write a message on water. Your support has to pass through the physical body first.
You know what's amazing? We can actually help achieve this calm before a problem even starts, just through predictability. Routines are so powerful because they act like a solid chair. You sit down in your favorite chair without even checking to see if it'll hold you, right? Predictable routines lower that feeling of uncertainty. The brain doesn't have to constantly scan for danger, which frees up so much emotional capacity. It literally stops the fire before a spark even catches.
Let's look at section 4, growing the skill together. Because honestly, the ultimate goal isn't just surviving today's meltdown, it's teaching the child how to do this on their own over time so they don't have to rely entirely on us forever. Children are not born with these full regulation skills just preloaded into their brains. They learn it through something called co-regulation, which literally means borrowing an adult's nervous system. Think of a kid learning to float in a swimming pool. At first, they desperately need your steady hand holding them up under the water. The adult's calm tone, your slow pace, and your steady posture become that supporting hand. You're basically lending them your steady nervous system pattern, keeping that hand firmly beneath them until they can confidently float all on their own.
This kind of independence is built through what we call the growth loop. It goes like this. The child experiences a big feeling. Then they receive steady help from a regulated adult. That help leads directly to recovery. And that recovery, it builds internal confidence. Repeated experiences of this exact loop create an internal memory for the kid that says, hey, when I get upset, I know I can come back. Your external support quite literally transforms into their own internal skill. It's magic. So we'll wrap up on this rather provocative question. The next time a child unravels right in front of you, are you going to see a behavioral problem, or are you going to see a nervous system asking for support? Having this wholesome understanding of the logic of upset changes absolutely everything. Because when you see recovery, you know that child just practiced coming back. They rode the wave. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this empowers you to see the hidden systems beneath the surface the very next time those big feelings arrive.